Hello Tubesters, as the title suggests, this is an unboxing of it feels like a lot of 6mm figures that my marra Beetle sent me, along with this, which came a day before. Now for this, I'll do an unboxing. I know it's people have seen Victrix, this is one of their older sets, but I was quite impressed with the quick look I've done with it. So I'll do an unboxing with that. I've got a lot of stuff on videos to have to do this week. I'm trying not to put like 2 out in a day. Sometimes I do, I will see. I've still got to do an unboxing of this. I actually bought this myself. I know you can tell when I buy stuff because it's under a tenner. The Panavia Tornado. I will be unboxing this today because I said I would. So, let me just make sure my address isn't on show. This was sent to me, got this off Amazon for me, and I thought there'd be a couple of little baggies with some in. Look at this big going up. I never understand this. The phone. It's a lot easier when I had the old camera. Although this does a really good job. Yeah. So Beetle said, "Are you keeping those yourself, Gav, or are they for sale?" Because he sent me the Victrix deliberately to paint and sell, try and make a bit of money, see if something sells. And I said, yeah, there's 6mm. I mean, it's a, and he said, what are you doing, and is it, because to be fair to Beetle, he doesn't understand World War II. So, sorry, Mara, that didn't mean to be disrespectful. I just mean it's not massively his thing. And I said, well, I'm doing what we call late war British, really. So keep looking down because I'm doing some Germans that from my own bag that I actually bought myself. And I'm digressing, hang on a second. Heads of it smashed today. We actually went out to the beach at Barmouth yesterday to walk, let Nugget have a play. That's my dog. I was calling him Pops, by the way. I keep thinking if I say Pop to you, they keep thinking he's 6 months old. But I go out with lots of people and just generally go out because I don't really go out apart from going up the wire with Nugget. Wild Forest, and my head ends up smashed. So I apologise for the way this video is going. It's going to be a long one probably because I just thought it would be nice to unbox it together. I don't know what's in there. To be fair to Beetle, he was trying to make sense of what was in there and trying to explain to me, but he doesn't do this type of stuff. So it's just we'll have a look together. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'll do an unboxing of this, obviously, and this will go up today. The Panavia Tornado, I'm telling this to you, I've already do this, so this will be, I don't know why I say this, it's just because I'm the person I am. The Panavia Tornado will be coming up in the 1 in 144 scale this evening, because I want to look at that properly myself. And I've got other stuff, I've got some Napoleonic 28mm coming up. Apart from that unboxing, he points there because it's like, okay, just sit there. But I've got the Perry Metal 28mm. I've got 18mm. They're going to be at some point. I won't be doing the plastic ones until these metals are done. And you know how long it's taken me. I've almost finished the Hussars. I'll be putting 4. I've got 4 done, which I'll do a video. Now I've got all these other bits that they can wait until later on in the week for a vid. But they're done, the 4. And I'm 3/4 of the way through the last 2, which is the officer and the trumpeter. I'm still basing the 3 NAM figures underneath my Ukrainian flag, Slava Ukraina. That is hiding the 1 in 56 scale Vietnam pattern tank. I have no idea until I replay this video because I never edit these. My wife's just come through the door. She's washing my car. Never lets me wash it. Says I'll scratch it. I'll run with that one. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. So she probably just heard her talking to the little fella downstairs because he's waiting patiently, looking through the window at her. Yeah. Under there is the pattern tank for my Vietnam collection. Anyway. So I'm waffling all over the place. Anybody that watches this that doesn't know me has already switched off, apart from you lower tubesters who know what Gav's videos are like and me in general. So Also, the Western horse that I'm doing, uh, I haven't done the bridle yet, but that will be done in the next couple of days. I've been working on the, look down here, Gav, you've got to remember to look down here. The one in 56, no, Gav, no. The one in 35 scale Tamiya Sommervente World War II Italian assault gun. That is going along well. I will, again, I didn't expect Beetle to be sending this stuff, so that they were all going to be videos, you know, rolling along, but you just probably have to wait a couple of days for that, which will give me a chance to do a bit more. It's nowhere near finished, but I've got basic paint on. I'm just painting the tarps at the moment because I thought before I put the shell together, because you've got to do some of the inside of that, I will do all the basic painting before I start doing any filters and things like that. It won't be a Steve Jones standard, but it should look nice. Still haven't made the tracks on that yet because I couldn't do that until the wheels are on. Well, all the wheels are on now and painted and everything. So there'll be, for the 1 in 35 scale fans out there, there'll be that. Do we have anything? I've got 2 cars as well. 1 in 24 scale cars. Why nothing ever goes quick because I just boom, 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 bounce, bounce, bounce. Yeah, 1 in 24 scale. No, I think one's 124, one's 25. Don't matter really. But I've got those. Still haven't done a second or third coat over the top of those because I'm doing all the novice mistakes on those. And I would have done it yesterday, but we went to Barmouth. So and I'm not going to get a chance to do it today. So they'll get sprayed in the week. Hopefully then I can polish them up next before you fit everything, I think. Anyway, but they are actually rolling along, as we say for cars. Right. Just looking over there, I still haven't done any more to the 1 in 35 scale Panzer Grenadier, and I still haven't done any more to the 15mm little dio that I'm doing. I'm bouncing around all over the shop. But as you all know, they seem to drop out of nowhere on you guys eventually. So let's go and take a look at the box. For Beetle, this was what's in the box, Marra. It was Egyptians by the look of it, and is now 6mm Allied World War II. It weighs a fair old. You get the idea. So yeah, let's take a look. Right, straight away, these are the old Heroics and Ros, so they're going to be smaller than my Bacchus. I don't mind that. I've got Heroics and Ros vehicles, and I would imagine there's vehicles in there. I'm not sure. Sorry guys, I'm doing all this as a trying to show you. So you can see there's a massive size difference. It don't bother me. As far as I'm concerned, they're infantry on a base. I'll tell you what though, for tiny little fellas, you can still make out the backpacks and stuff. In fact, you can tell. Can you see this guy here? He's actually, that's pretty good. He's got the Bren gun. He's even got the looks like the bipod down. So no, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever, scale-wise. As I say, I don't even care mixing them up. If I was mixing them up in a particularly attacking units, but if you keep them separate units, they'll be fine. I mean, they look strange on, obviously, if you mix them up on the same base, but that's not a problem. As I say, a lot of the vehicles, like the one that I showed brewing up, the Cromwell, was it? Yeah, I think it's Cromwell. That's Heroic and Ros. I had some Heroic and Ros years ago, and there was a fellow when I was in the army. He did 6mm World War II, and I knew I'd got a load, and I knew I was going. I was leaving the army, and I was going to Australia, and I didn't have a lot, but I passed on what I got to him. Right, let's take a look. So they were, I suppose, marching poses. I'm not sure what you call them, because I don't think there's particularly anything. These are heavy weapons. So we've got 3-inch mortars. We've got minesweepers, flamethrowers. There's a bit of everything on these. We've got signalers, so radio operators. mean, to this day, we still have the Royal Corps signals. Somebody's attempted to have a go on these by the look of them. I'm just trying to think if these look like Germans. I think they're Germans. There'll probably be something scrawled on the base, but I can't see. I'm saying they're Germans. I think he told me it was all late war British. Did I say that? 6-month Allied? Yeah, so they're not Germans, are they? They've got to be British, I would have thought. At this scale, it's hard to tell. Well, if I didn't have enough, which I didn't, enough foot troops, I have now. Eighth Army. So this 8th Army in, because I've got I've got 2 projects I'd like to do with the 6 mils. My Normandy campaign, which can go through all of Northwest Europe and Italy, to be fair. Maybe not so much Sicily and that in the early days, but my other 2 6 mil hopes to do at some point. Well, these are World War II US infantry. Oh, fair enough. I should just read, shouldn't I, rather than just trying to. So these are American infantry. I mean, you don't need loads and loads of one particular one or the other, really. But BR2, so they'll be British. Yeah, the same ones with the mortars. British one. Yeah, well, I was saying, yeah, sorry. So I'd like to do the Ardennes. So we've got some. I don't know if it's all infantry in here or not. We'll just plough through and have a look. Infantry support, World War II British again. We've got enough. It's got a hole in by the look of it. Something's just dropped out. We might be able to have a closer look at some. In the prone position, 2-inch mortars, which I'm actually doing some at the moment. You see a little 2-inch mortar. We use the 51mm mortar for platoon support. There's usually a mortarman. Greyhound armoured cars. I swear I had these, when back in the early 80s. I might be wrong. They're very nice. I've even got some stowage on the side. I might put some figures in the top of those, 105mm howitzers, again American. So we've got the makings of an Ardennes force, British or American. Until I've got my magnifiers on, your guess is as good as mine. Shermans. Have they got the 2? These look like early Shermans. Welded cast. Are these cast ones? Are these early ones? Cast? I can't read the thing yet until I open it up. All 25-pounders. The other, looking at 25 pounds, just what I was trying to say. So I've got an idea to do American German Ardennes, and I've got the other one I'd like to do is Crete, which isn't particularly like heavy on equipment. It's just more of a good old infantry fight. 25-pounders and limbers. Yeah, these are. There's one here saying cast hull. Yeah, so these are the cast hulls. So they'd be the early ones, wouldn't they? M4A3, the late one. You won't get the same definition on some of these Heroics and Ros early ones. As you can see here, it's quite the actual bogies and that are quite subdued. But what I tend to do is pick them out Sorry if you can hear vehicles being revved. Oh, yes, yes, we know you've got a big bore exhaust. American infantry. Obviously, the previous owners obviously had this for a while. Maybe British. Not 100% sure. You tell me. What does that look like? Have they got helmets on? I presume they've got helmets on. Oh, really? Sorry, guys. We've got more. Now, actually, are these the scout car version, the M20s? The Brits had these as well in some of our scout units as well. I think reconnaissance units. But you remember, like in the Ardennes, when the Germans first came up against some of those, they couldn't stop them, but the American reconnaissance companies, scout, whatever the Americans call them, they gave them, they gave them a good hard time just with these type of scout cars with a 50, with a 50 cal on, jeeps with a 50 cal on, a few Stuart light tanks, obviously the Greyhound. I'd like to replicate that. As I said with the Normandy one, try and replicate things in history. I don't know. I've got an idea. I'll go through it at some point when we've got some terrain down and everything. So Sherman M4 again. Lots of them. Hey, comma trucks, British. Again, where the casting can be sometimes rough, you can usually just pick it out and clean it up if you need to. World War II British infantry. Oh, look at this. Spitfire 5. Les Teal. How small can we get? Well, we can get it down to this size when it comes to aircraft. We've even got air support now. Fireflies, that's what we needed. I did have a bunch of Fireflies. I'd say some of those, all that stuff I gave away. So we've got Fireflies for Normandy. M3 half tracks. I used to have a bunch of those as well. That's great because we need those. Well, we need everything really, don't we? Let's face it. Archers. I haven't got any archers, so that'll be nice. Normandy again. Well, again, going through to the end of the war. Chaffies. We can do Battle of the Bulge in the sense of the film, where you didn't see a single Sherman. They were all Chaffee like tanks, weren't they, on the American side? Remember Telly Savalas, and he's still got this 50 caliber machine gun when he's in the fuel depot. Got that on DVD. Daimler and Bren carrier. Yeah, Daimler and Bren carriers. Well, how many Bren carriers have we got now? But we haven't got a Daimler armoured car. Archers again. Bring on those Tigers when I get them. Sherman M4s again. Well, the Americans are. We can fight the Ardennes. Oh, here. Oh, look at these. Probably my favourite British tank of the Second World War. Churchills. Had a bunch of these as well. They were all in a box, a bit like this really, that I gave to that fella. Nice. I'll pick a bit of detail out with those with me scrapers. Very nice. Oh, you hit the mark with these ones, Beetle. What have we got here? Some Davco ones as well. More Churchills. I mean, you could always make these into the Royal Engineer version, just replace the barrels if you wanted to. In case of complaint, Could have been the 1980s when you might have trouble trying to find whoever that was. AC armoured cars. I've seen 1 in 35 scale models of these, but I've never seen those in 6mm before. They're British. More Churchills. Churchills were mainly used for the old-fashioned way that the Brits used them in not Churchills themselves, but in 1940 as infantry support tanks. They were pretty hard to knock out. The problem was obviously that they had great armour, but obviously the gun itself wasn't great for taking on the larger German tanks. We've got some more commas. Oh, we've got a few Jeeps here. I'm just actually doing a Jeep. I've got one Jeep. Where is it, Gav? Hang on a second, let's get it off. Show scale difference and the quality difference. That's a Bacchus Jeep. And obviously these are the old Heroic and Ros Jeeps. Still completely serviceable. And obviously with a very slight difference in scale, you can probably fit a bit more on. You can see some of the tools carried there and jerry cans on the back of and the front's very, very well detailed, as you can see. That's a Bacchus with some primer on. But as I say, all these are perfectly usable because I do use them. I say use them. None of them are used yet. I've got to actually I'm going to magnetise all the bases because I'm running out of space and I've got them dotted all over the place and I need to put them in their own. More, I like his commas, this guy. More commas. Don't need that many in one go. More commas. He must have had a deal on commas at the time. Oh no, we've got a few more. Let's keep digging. We've got a bit of difference now. We've got 2-ton max. Big hefty fellas. American. Jackson M10 tank destroyer. I mean, barrels are all white metal and bendy, but you can always make your own if you want to, in brass, in a bit of brass rod or wire. But and I have done that when they're too knackered or they're broken off. But otherwise, you can just bend them back into shape. And on the sides of the bases I use, they shouldn't, they don't really come into contact with fingers or anything. I was going to say Churchills again. I should just field a force of Churchills. Oh, we've got another Spitfire. So we have more ground support. Spitfire Mark 5. I think there's a load of what appear to be old shield transfers or something at the bottom, as in for other scales. And we've got these are out the. I imagine they're supposed to be Americans. I'm trying to look through me reading glasses through this. So is that no? They're Germans. I'll look at that. Yep, looks like I'm actually doing so again. So we'll have use that as a. They do look like Germans. Right, Gav. Where's the? Right, here we go. Right, this is a Bacchus one in the sustained fire roll. That's an MG42. I mean, at this scale, you could call it an MG34 if you really wanted to. But MG42. We've got a guy with a failed mutts on, so a soft hat and a couple of helmets. And this is the older version. Well, not versions of Bacchus, but the Heroics and Ros. Right. All I can say, first of all, to Beetle, Marra, thank you so much. It will take a long, long time to plough through all this lot, and there's a fair amount of I suppose duplicates like the Churchills until I would work out. I mean, I was thinking of using that O group rules So I don't know how many I really need to field at one time, but definitely say, how many's in there? 6. I mean, 6 would do me surely for a first, for a particular fight. So we'll see. But Marra, this has really given the project a boost because, as I say, I haven't got the funds all the time. I do, so it depends what I'm selling, and at the moment nothing's selling, which is why Beetle helped me out, sent me all this stuff. It's really given me a boost because I'd run out of any type of armour or vehicles on the British side or German side for that matter. I'm still going to have to buy, which is going to help me now because I can put more funds into one bit than the other, if that makes sense. I've still got to get a couple more Panthers, a couple of Tigers. So I'm not going huge. I don't want like 20 of each type of thing. I'm not fighting some massive tank battle. This is Normandy through the hedgerows. So a few more soft skins. I'll go through my different Orbats of what the Germans were using, and also what we, as in the British, were using, and the British or any Allied units that were like Canadian, as in Commonwealth units or European Allied units that were, using British equipment rather than the American. The American stuff I'll put on the side for the moment, but that will greatly help. Again, of that means that if when I get to the Ardennes, which will be American and German, I'll probably still have to. I'll have to redo German stuff because I feel a bit icky doing like Normandy type terrain on a winter battlefield. So the Germans will probably have to have fresh stuff, but that doesn't particularly faze me. But the Americans now, we've got Shermans for the Americans, and some soft-gun vehicles. We've got armored cars. So that's Marra. That's brilliant because that for that project, which won't be again until I've done Normandy, I'm not going to start faffing around with the Ardennes. But it's just the Ardennes and Crete are the two ones that I will do in the future if I ever get Normandy finally done. As I say, originally I was fighting the battles around the Odon, just being influenced by a book that I've got, which is obviously we're in the landings are over. We're in country trying to fight through around Con and all that. I may look at including the beach landings again. This isn't it's not anti American, or I'll be doing Ardennes. It's just I want to do the British stroke Canadian side of it. Only with the Canadians as well, I can use British, the British as Canadians, if that makes sense. Well, using British stuff, as American it wouldn't look right really. So we've got. I may look at opening up, so getting some, and the only things that needs to change for doing the actual landings themselves is just getting some of the funnies, so the bobbing carpet layers and the bridge, anything that needed to get the lads off the beaches and inland. So because all the rest of it you can use as normal, so that isn't a big investment as such, especially once I just do it as and when. Germans, so there's still more British. I will probably get some 17-pounders. Just do that. I know what I've got to get. So I'll go shopping for that as and when. I won't be getting stuff for the Ardennes. I mean, this is great. What's in here? I mean, Beetle thought it was just all British. Well, it turns out it's British and American, and that's fine because that will help me. There's more than enough British infantry in what he sent me and what I've got to more or less, I would have thought, do what I need to do, which is usually I would have thought company, battle, regimental size type, maybe brigade. I don't know yet. It's all new to me really. But yeah, we've got enough infantry now. We've got 25-pounders, which realistically would be off table, I would have thought. But you still want to do them because it just looks. You want all the sweets in the shop, don't you? Really. So yeah, we got that. I might actually. I think I've got some 4.5, 4-inch howitzers, 4.5-inch howitzers. I can't remember, but they're Heroics and Ros as well. That I was given years ago. Um, so yeah, everything and yeah, every that side of it. As I say, there's a few more German bits like assault, like Stugs and Tigers and Panthers. Again, though, nothing a large amount, just enough to do this side of it. Uh, and I think we're really just crack on building and making some terrain. I'm going to start making some orchards some point in the next week or so. I've got some like bath towel. I saw uh, Richard Clark in it from Two Fat Lardies. He was doing it for the 2 mil Roman stuff that I've been doing. Strength. I can't remember the name of the blooming rule set, but I thought they would be ideally as well, just for probably get away with using them for the 6 mil, a few little orchards and stuff for the table. And then I've just got to do some get some terrain. I'm not going to make it as in the building wise. I'll just buy those. I think that's going to be. They look better. So yeah, that's that. And then, like I say, future projects. I can use the Brits all through Europe after the D-Day landings. I can use them really in Africa, in Italy, apart from maybe if you're really pinching at it, you can still use them for Sicily, southern Italy, Anzio. But I've got those. And as I say, at some point I'll get some more early war stuff that I can, because Crete, it was more an infantry battle than anything. But get some German paratroops, Germans acting as mountain troops, Brits, Greeks, well, Commonwealth, let's say, because it was General Chinlock commanded in Crete, and he was a New Zealander, and there was obviously lots of New Zealanders and I believe Aussies and stuff fighting in Crete as well. So yeah, anyway, that's a different one, isn't it? So I'll leave you with this giant pile of literally lead, probably at these ages, white metal. And thanks again, Marra. That it really has given the project a boost, a shot in the arm, if you'll put it that way. Don't worry about these being. You've heard me saying this because I know you don't know. I'm going to say you run from your elbow when it comes to this stuff. These are smaller figures, but when they're put on their own bases, it's going to make no difference to me whatsoever. They'll still be Brits, they'll still be Germans, whatever. I just won't mix them up on the same base, which I wouldn't have done anyway. So, yeah, no, that all's good. And as for the vehicles will be very slightly smaller than the more modern 6 mils. Again, that doesn't faze me. They're all on their own bases. I know that's a Jeep. I know that's a Bren Carrier or a Mark IV, because all my Mark IV German Mark IV tanks are Heroic and Ros. Yeah, and my half tracks. So it's that's not a problem at all. So I'm happy using whatever I can get, really. So thanks for stopping by and taking a look. If this probably bored the pants off most of you, but there are guys out there that enjoy the 6 mil and probably enjoy where the project goes. Because let's face it, I stopped gaming a while ago. You all know I've got mental health problems. I'm only bringing it up because there are people that don't. Part of what I have now is I keep getting memory loss. It goes in and out, which makes it just ridiculous to try and do wargaming. Because if you're actually playing against somebody, they've more or less got to make all these. I just can't think, type of thing. So this is really just for my own enjoyment. Build it up. I am going to game them. It'll be solo, and I know O Group probably you aren't supposed to be solo, but I'll wing it. I'll do something. It's for me at the end of the day. It helps my head out. And as I say, I've got some idea for not only doing the like a normal ball game, but I'd like to. The Odon book I've got has got different maps in it, and it's following it does the British and the German side of it, and it's got fairly detailed maps, and it says like A company, such and such regiment, British regiment, fought to a standstill at here. B company came up this road type, and I'd like to sort of incorporate all that, so we're learning a bit of history along the way, if that makes sense. It's funny saying history now, isn't it? We've got so little veterans left. But yeah, so something like that rather than just where Gav normally. I've never been one for fighting particular battles. It tends to be more like it's in that particular, if it was say Napoleonics, I'll just, these are French defending this village from Austrians, I don't know, and just it's that type of thing. But because you can get caught up to, people can pull you apart for doing historical ones because, oh, you've got this wrong or this should have happened here and there. But I just thought it would be nice to show what was happening, on particular days for particular cornfields, villages. If it's in Normandy, obviously, if it's in Crete, we all know. Well, if you're interested, obviously the development of the Battle of Crete, and if it's obviously in the Ardennes, everybody knows the Battle of the Bulge, stroke Ardennes. But again, taking like those American reconnaissance units on the Schneeifel? Eiffel? I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Those first reconnaissance units that were just out there right on the edge, when they suddenly had all these searchlights bouncing off the clouds, and then suddenly the Germans start infiltrating around them and it's, all that type of stuff, So have a small town or village, with just literally maybe 3 American Jeeps, maybe 1 or 2 light Stuart tanks, and a ground armoured car, maybe a Dodge weapons carrier, I don't know, and see how they fare on the board against, obviously German infiltrating units and armour. Anyway, I've kept you long enough. You look after yourselves. So this is the first video today. It'll go up today. The Panavia Tornado unboxing will go up tomorrow. I'll do it today or later this evening. I'm going to put all this away now. I'm going to give these Bacchus 6mm that I've already got on the table. I'm going to give these a second coat of primer. It's all brushed on with these ones. I didn't have my airbrush out, and I will then crack on with this Samaventi, I think, which was my plan for today. So you look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.